This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth. We're currently here in Vancouver at the RoboCoder office. This is the technology behind FintruX, a blockchain peer-to-peer lending ecosystem which seeks to change the face of financing as we know it for both the lender and the borrower. And I'm currently joined by the co-founders of FintruX, Conrad and Nelson Lin. Guys, thank you so much for inviting us into your offices and letting us understand this business. Now, I want to get into blockchain technology in general and how Ethereum is smart contracts are being used to change the face of financing. But maybe you could start us off by letting us know what are currently some of the problems that our lenders and borrowers both have that you are seeking to change and fix.
Well, I can tell you all the mystery that I have to go through in order to get over cash flow issues due to unexpected events. Even though I had an MBA, still when it comes to unexpected event, we call that unexpected for a reason. When you needed the cash most, the bank just wouldn't lend you the money. Mm-hmm. They want to lend you the money when you don't need it. I used to work for a bank, and the motto there was please lend cash on cash. And what it means is if you have a saving account with the bank with lots and lots of money, then they will lend you the same amount of money because that was they called collateral. They're very safe, which is good for the bank, but is it good for me? However, I have to say that entrepreneurs like me are all over the place, and we have a dream, and we want to make things happen. There's a will there, and we'll work very hard to pay back the money if we ever borrow from it. However, the banks are not helping.
So where is the starting ground for this platform going to be, or currently is?
So we're currently deciding to start in both Singapore and Canada. And the reason behind that is Canada, RoboCoder Corporation has been serving their securitization clients for the last 20 years, and we have a lot of connections here for the funder-wise, and we can definitely get we can get a good push to start off as a starting ground here. But what's more important is actually Singapore, because it's closest to the biggest three financial hubs where financing is needed the most, where you have China, you have India, and you have Indonesia. Those three places are critical because the borrowers are constantly getting pummeled by either extremely high interest rates, having to deal with loan sharks. That's gonna give them a really hard time because there's almost no regulation there. If you don't pay your loan, well, you might end up in the alley in a dumpster the next day, right? So we want to be there to help serve the underserved. We want to help them get over the humps that they are currently in, and make sure that they get the financing, the safe financing, the secure financing they need.
So maybe you can explain to us a little bit of the difference with FintruX in Singapore and what the office here currently in Vancouver is all about.
Well, I'd like to start off by saying that the FintruX idea has been in my mind for a long time, and I have 30 years of experience in delivering financing software. And I couldn't pick a better timing to do this P2P lending platform on Ethereum blockchain. Using the blockchain, we can give the people more control on their destiny. It's immutable, it's censorship resistant, and it's transparent. So by putting a lending platform on blockchain, essentially, we are giving people the choice of selecting the best lenders. In the past, we talk about caveat emptor, and now what it means is caveat emptor means buyers beware. I think more and more consumers these days realize that they have more power than what they had before. And time is changing. It becomes a seller beware. We're not there yet, but I can start to see the transition. With this platform, the borrower will be able to see that the lenders have ratings and reviews. Now that reputation would give them the comfort level because it's all rated by other borrowers, so they know this is not a loan shark, this one is a loan shark, and for the vendors, for the lenders, they want to build up the reputation as a good guy. Yet, they find ways to make sure that they get payback. There's many ways to solve a problem. That you don't have to be violent in order to get your money back.
Yeah.
We can put in all kinds of collateral, securities, and what have you. For the last 20 years, we have been serving the securitization industry, and there was a little trade secret that we called credit enhancers. We used to secure the assets so that the funders would feel a lot more comfortable lending at a lower rate. Usually for securitizations, you get a discount rate for over 100 basis point, 50 basis point. Now for bulk lending, this is a lot of money. And we found out that we can use the same credit enhancers and add two more other things to it, like the guarantors or the token reserve that we use as the ultimate reserve to protect the unsecured loan. Now, with those four levels, a cascading level of enhancers, we can make the unsecured loan more secure.
Right.
And that's how I see we're changing the lives of borrowers who have every intention to pay it back, and as long as they can prove that they can pay back the money, I think they should have an opportunity to get a loan 4 to 6 figures to get over cash flow problems that they did not expect.
Yeah, nobody wants to become prey to the sharks, and I think we can all agree that if we can not be, forgive my language, but screwed over by the banks, we would do so. So how is Ethereum, and specifically smart contracts, going to revolutionize this industry?
Well, Ethereum as a whole is a distributed, decentralized ledger. The idea is that, instead of having all your information and everything held by one entity, one corporation, right? For example, everything that Google ever collects is in the basement server somewhere in California. And that information can very well be your SIN number, could be your credit card, all your emails, where you went to eat, where you went to work, where you went to play. All that information is currently sitting in someone else's hands. And, if someone has so much control over your life, what's to stop them from using that for bad, or worse, selling your information to someone who uses it for bad? Maybe Google themselves, maybe Facebook themselves won't use it for bad. Well, but what if they sell to someone that would, right? So the entire reason why the blockchain is such a thriving thing nowadays is that everybody wants to own their own data. Everybody wants to know that everything's safe, no one's controlling it. And the idea of a smart contract is you put out a programming, essentially a program out on the blockchain, and nobody can touch it, right? That's the whole idea, that it's immutable, right? And it's censorship resistant. So with that gives a lot of people a lot more control over their lives, and that's, in the end, that's all we want here is, to feel like we're in control of our own lives again, that feel like we're not being controlled by an entity, a corporation, a government, what have you, and be in charge of your own destiny.
That's fantastic. So decentralization, big time, is what it was. Transparency and decentralization is what you're bringing to the table. Now, you guys also deal in your own tokens, and this also kind of serves as almost like a safety net for these people. Can you explain how the tokens work?
Right. So a good analogy for the use of our tokens is like an arcade. Back in the day, maybe you go to arcade and you fumble around, you try to find a quarter, a loonie, what have you, and try to put it in the slot machine and you play, right? But then eventually companies like Palladium came around and said, hey, why don't you just stop at the door, give me your Canadian money, and I'll give you a token, and this token you can play at any single, machine in the arcade. So the analogy here is that our tokens is your ticket into FintruX. So for instance, borrowers and lenders need FTX, so our token, right, our FintruX token, to get into our platform to participate. And then guarantors, when they participate and they choose a loan that they want to guarantee, they'll get paid in FTX tokens. And then the agencies, the multitude of agencies that get involved in our platform, like, KYC, AML, identity management, credit decision, credit scoring, all those agents, they get paid in FTX token as well. So with this kind of token economy moving the flow of our token, we can create a thriving community where everyone is backed by the same thing.
So what would you say is one of the largest benefits for the borrower, and perhaps maybe one of the largest benefits that you provide for the lender as well?
Right. Well, something that Nelson alluded to earlier about the borrower is that they can benefit from drastically lower rates than they would from a traditional loan shark or even a bank. We're currently we have many phases in our plan, but our phase 1 is targeting small businesses and especially startups, right? Startups have a hard time finding loans for their cash flow issues because, well, banks look at you and say, hey, you haven't been in business for a year, you have no revenue, why should I lend to you? How do I know I'm going to get it paid back, right? But with our credit enhancers, we can make the loan safe enough that, hey, the lenders wouldn't mind decreasing their interest rate because they know that it's backed by our 4 levels of credit enhancers. And with that, we're providing a service to the borrowers for a lower interest rate, and we're also providing a very valuable service to the lenders, right? So our lenders, again, in our first phase, are going to be accredited investors and financial institutions. Well, we're giving them a platform to safely and easily lend money in a fully automated money machine. That's what we like to call it, because all they have to do is set the amounts of money they want to loan, the parameters they want to lend at, right? And then, with different interest rates for different parameters, maybe someone with a really good credit score comes along and, I'll knock, 5 points off their base rates, right? So with incentives like that get them really into and going on our system, and once they set that all up, well, they can just relax and just have the interest payments flow in. And whether or not they set up self-service options like refinancing or repayments, well, that's all done through our system, and they just say, oh yeah, I'm going to let the borrower do 3 refinances before I say no go. Well, that's fine as well, right? So it's a really safe platform for lenders and borrowers alike in their respective ways.
Well, with this fully automated administration concept, that sounds interesting to me, and I'm wondering, are you able to provide a transparent, open marketplace with this automated administration, and how exactly does that work?
Right. So the beauty there is that we're actually going to be open sourcing all these smart contracts that we generate. So that the idea behind this is that traditional systems, it's one giant program. There's lots of if and then statements. They gotta accommodate for every single different use case that there could be. But the way that we're generating our systems is that instead of having one giant system for many different loans, right, we're having millions of little systems that are specifically targeted for every single loan, meaning that there's very little if or then statements, right? And then we'll show that it's open source to both the borrower and the lender, and they can bring that to anyone and verify that says, hey, this is exactly what they're saying, this is exactly what you're getting, this is the money you're going to have to repay, this is the money you're getting for your loan, blah, 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 these are your options, your self-service options. And with all that in hand, they can go and say, hey, I know what I'm getting into, this is all transparent to me, and they can move forward with that. And we are doing that with our low-code development system platform that we've built over the years. We're now making it no-code development platform.
That's very, very attractive to people. And you also have an ICO coming up. Tell us a little bit about the launch.
We're trying to be as transparent as possible in showing you that how, when we get the funds that we raise, we're going to spend it in the right ways. So we're starting that with the pre-sale, and the funds we get in the pre-sale we'll be using to launch our prototype, which will be available before the actual token sale in February, and hopefully we'll see you all guys there.
That's fantastic, and I think transparency is key, decentralization is key. So for the people watching this at home who are probably pretty fascinated and interested in this, how are they going to get involved? Where can they go to learn more?
You can definitely go to the links below and check out our white paper and our website. But if you really want to learn more, we actually have a Telegram channel where we answer questions 24 hours a day. Any questions you'd like to ask, we're very open with our supporters, and we'd love to see you there. It's also going to be in the description down below, and I hope you guys come and talk to us.
Well, it's truly changing the game. I mean, what you guys are doing are changing the face of financing moving forward, and using blockchain technology to have it completely decentralized and transparent on an open-based ledger, I think is a brilliant way to go, a fantastic model. Yes, I strongly encourage you guys to check out the links in the description, and thank you so much for inviting me into your offices here. Maybe next time we can do it in Singapore.
Yeah. We like that.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.